Big changes are coming to my garden here and back here. But it's this area here that I'm most devastated by. So back in July, we had a storm that just had these horrific winds and it sheared off the back portion of this prairie fire crab. I planted this crab apple almost 20 years ago. It was just a small shrub and I have trained it over the years into this multi-stem, beautiful tree. I mean, it's the highlight of my spring garden. So gorgeous magenta flowers. And when the sun was setting and the tree was in bloom, it just cast the most beautiful pink glow into these windows here. So I've got a crew coming tomorrow that's going to cut down this tree and stump it, and then as well as the pussy willow trees that are in the backyard. So the writing was on the wall for the last couple years with the pussy willows. They've had fungus on them and mushrooms and all kinds of things happening, beetles, and they need to come down. So I'll be glad to see those go. That part of the garden is going to change considerably, and it's a plan that I'll be working on over the winter time. But this is the area that I'm most devastated by. I wasn't prepared for this, and this is going to change. This is a shade garden. It's going to become a sun garden. But what I want to get after is this beautiful ground cover right here. If you've got a spot in your garden that you really struggle to get anything to grow and you've got some bare soil is never good. It's just an invitation for weeds. This is Geranium Macrorrhizum, and I have not found a growing situation that it cannot handle. So if you put it in too much sun, it'll get a little crispy, but it's no great shakes. It still muscles through. Geranium Macrorrhizum is hardy in zones 4 to 8, gets to be about a foot to a foot and a half tall. Beautiful pink flowers in the springtime, gorgeous fall color on the leaves. It gets kind of these reds and oranges and yellows. It's just beautiful. Deer and rabbit resistant, and it spreads easily. It's not aggressive. And it's easy to divide, which is what I'm going to do today because all of this is going to get trampled if I don't. So I have to pull up the hosta that's in here. I don't know what variety it is. It was a gift from a neighbor, and I've divided that over the years. And I originally bought, I think, maybe 5 plants of the Geranium Macrorrhizum a long time ago, and I've just divided them year after year to make this beautiful bed here. What I want to do is lift a lot of these guys and put them in another spot of the garden that I really struggle with. It's probably my most difficult growing spot, and it's really dry shade, and I've got some bare soil. Let me show you. This is my most challenging space in the garden. So there's an autumn blaze maple here that is a very thirsty tree, and things just struggle to thrive here, especially when they're newly planted. I don't have a drip system, so to get things established, I have to be on top of watering because this is a water hog. But right here I've got some invincible lace cap hydrangeas, and I'm still iffy about whether or not they're going to stay. I planted them back in 2022 here. They're growing, but they're not thriving. The flowering is not so great, and I think it's due in large part to not enough sun and probably not enough moisture. But what I want to do for right now is take some of that Geranium Macrorrhizum, divide it up, and then fill in all of this bare soil, because the bare soil is just an invitation for more weeds, and I don't want to pull any more weeds. I never have to weed in that spot where the geranium is underneath the crabapple. There's never any weeding that happens because there's absolutely no light getting down to that soil. The geranium is just taking care of that issue for me, and it's just a great problem solver. No pests and pollinator friendly, fall color. It checks all the boxes for me. Low maintenance. I like low maintenance. So what I want to do is take chunks of that geranium over there and move it to this spot here. It really doesn't get much easier than this. I mean, you can literally reach in, and this is how I've divided all of the Geranium Macrorrhizum. Reach in and just pull out a chunk, and what you're left with is this becomes all these little individual rhizomes. And look at, I mean, I've got so many plants here. And that's how I've done this entire bed here. And then I did a bed in the backyard, just kind of covering ground and preventing weed seeds from settling in. But I've got all of these individual plants that are going to populate that space under the maple tree and form this beautiful carpet and suppress the weeds and make life easier, less to do. I mean, it's beautiful, pollinator friendly, low maintenance, and is tough as nails. That ought to work. While I was digging, Julie showed up. So whenever you're going to be digging anything, you want to make sure you're calling your utility. And for us, it's Julie in Illinois. And then they'll come in and mark where in this instance, in this situation, this is the gas line. And they marked it with yellow to symbolize the gas line. And then they'll take it all the way out with the direction that it's running that way. And then this pile here, I mean, this is a lot of Geranium Macrorrhizum roots. So I've got a lot of plants there. I will not be using all of them, but look at how much is left over. You can just make, once these guys get going, you can just make division after division after division. So I ordered a 2-inch diameter, 36-inch long power planter auger, specifically for bulb planting. But then I thought, work smarter, not harder, right? And this soil is so dense and so rooted, it's very hard to dig in. So if I were to dig in all these rhizomes by hand, I mean, just, it's too much work. So I thought, let's give this a go. So all I'm doing is loosening up the top surface and just kind of moving things around a little bit because I don't have to dig deeply, and this is working like a charm. And I bought the heavy duty one, a little bit more expensive than the standard version, but it is really, it's doing the trick. All right, so I've got this giant clump of Geranium Macrorrhizum roots, and it's super easy to plant. All you're gonna do is take the individual rhizome here, and you're gonna lay that in the soil so it'll lay out, cover it a bit with some soil, and so you'll have this little bit sticking up, and then I'm just gonna kind of pepper them pretty close together so that they fill really quick. I tend to plant pretty tight, so maybe 6 to 12 inches, wherever I feel like I want some. It'll just fill in and form this beautiful carpet all in this area that is just bare soil right now. I barely used anything that I dug up, so I have plenty of Geranium Macrorrhizum, but this is what it looks like just kind of scattered across the soil in this area before I plant them. Okay, now all that's left to do is water this in. And that's all there is to it. So I had so many rhizomes that I didn't end up using. And the beauty of this is that, and it makes me feel so happy, is I put all of my divisions, I had alliums this year, daylilies, and now Geranium Macrorrhizum. I put them all on the curb and I announced to my HOA, we have a Facebook site for our neighborhood, that I have a certain perennial available, and then I show them pictures on there, what it looks like when it's in flower, and you know how to plant it, what type of light it needs. And all of my divisions that are on the curb go like that. So that means that this gardening thing is catching on in my neighborhood, and I'm really stoked about that. So hopefully people will put some more Geranium Macrorrhizum in bare spots in their garden, dry shade. It's such a difficult spot to plant. Geranium Macrorrhizum can take it. So I'm just gonna keep this watered, and as I do all of my new plantings, and fall is a great time to plant, so don't miss this opportunity to plant right now. Soil is warm, air is cooler, and these plants settle in a lot faster. So hopefully this year, and I'll check back, we'll check in on it next spring and see what it looks like. All right guys, thanks for watching. I'll catch you in the next one. See ya.